The idea seems good on paper as far as content goes, but actually you doing it, Mo, would be a really tough weekend.
Man, I have so much anxiety over this.
Don't do it.
I think you're at a different place in your life now, and you may be too soft for this.
I think so. I don't disagree with you, but like you said, man, content-wise, this is hard to turn down, so I'm kind of stuck in the middle, and I have a choice to make. So last week on my podcast called In the Moment, which is under Bert's Network Pioneer, we had a special guest, and she goes by the name of Mother Nature. She's really popular online, and that's mostly in part to the fact that she lives out of her car by choice. She has lived out of her car for 5 years. She has a fiance who also lives out of a van, and this is the way she has chose to live her life because she just doesn't feel like she needs anything more.
Just to give a tease on the podcast also without giving it all away, did she choose this life or did it happen because she was broke and had to live out of it and then she's like, oh, this is kind of cool?
Yeah, no, like I said, she chose this life. She says when she was younger, she just kind of always had this feeling that she just wanted complete freedom in her life, like under any circumstances. She feels like people who live in homes are actually crazy. Like that was her word. She's like, I don't get it. Y'all want to stay in one place for like your whole life and you don't get to explore and just be free to venture out and do whatever you want, whenever you want. And she wants that lifestyle. She enjoys that lifestyle.
This is so interesting to me because there's a psychological aspect to it also. Did you talk about how she grew up? Like why she doesn't want roots?
Yeah, well, she said that she grew up in a normal household, but for herself, she just never enjoyed being like feeling as if she was confined. She just always felt that way. She said she tracked it to a song. I believe it was a Temptation song. Papa was a Rolling Stone. She said something about that song the first time she heard it. She wanted to be a Rolling Stone. She just wanted to live her life under her means and her ways, and that's it. Like.
Yeah, I guess there are some people that see it as very confining, but I think personally, everybody needs roots, some kind of security of roots. And when you have that kind of quote unquote freedom for her, it just feels like she's avoiding having any kind of roots whatsoever, anything consistent in her life.
Maybe. I mean, she said the hardest part of it for her was like having a child. You know, she wanted to wait until her daughter was a certain age so that her daughter wasn't relying on her as much. And her daughter's at the point where she's now about to start living on her own. So she said that was the only thing that was stopping her. But once she got that out the way, this is the way she wants to live her life. She has no timeline on how long she's going to do it. She just wants to do it for as long as she feels like she has to. And I mean, she goes to the gym to use the shower. She finds ways to eat. Sometimes she'll even cook food out of her car. She typically tries to be in a location where it's warm, so she's never really having to deal with super cold weather, really super hot. She'll try to base wherever she lives on the weather. And, she seems to do it really well.
But what if she pulls a Tommy and she picks up a two-hand turtle and she gets salmonella, then all of a sudden she's got the Rhea, she doesn't have a bathroom at her disposal?
She going to have to park somewhere where there's a bathroom nearby.
Right.
Yeah.
And she has a job.
She has a job. She has 2 jobs, actually.
Two jobs.
Yeah, she has a full-time job, and then part-time she does editing. And she's completely capable. Like, she made that clear of buying a home if she wanted to. She just doesn't want to. She enjoys living this way.
I think that kind of lifestyle to me would last for about 4 days. Like the wanderlust of being, like, I love the idea that Cassie's in an RV. She and her family can go anywhere. That sounds amazing. But the reality is I'm too soft for that.
Yeah, me too. And I asked her about that too. Like, why not an RV? That would seem perfect for you. But she said she can't disguise it. She's always out in the open. So after we do this episode, it does really well. People seem to really take to it. They love it. We had great chemistry. And she's like, I want to keep working with you guys. So I thought that meant like come back on the podcast and keep telling you about my life. What I didn't take into consideration was my dude Keon, who's on the podcast with me, calls me, and I already knew by the tone of his voice he was going to ask me something that I didn't want to hear. And he was like, well, I think you're going to say no, but I don't think you should. And I'm like, what is it, bro? And he said, Mother Nature has offered for us to spend 2 days, an entire weekend with her on the road. And I said, Keon, under no circumstances am I doing that. Like, why would I do that?
You're too tall for that.
That's so he said, I said, I can't spend 2 days in a car. Like, there's just no way. He said, well, the good news is her fiance is going to let us borrow the van.
Oh, wow.
I said,
whoa. and to be fair, Key's not a small fella either.
He's not. And they want to do this with the 4 of us. It's going to be Mother Nature, her fiance, myself, and Keon in this van. Apparently, there's
This is a reality show waiting to happen.
God. It's a location that they go to every once in a while to just get away away from everything and they just spend a whole weekend in nature, and it's going to be camping and whatever else that entails. But we're going to be living out of her fiance's van for 2 days.
I don't think it's a big deal for 2 days. I don't think it's going to be very uncomfortable for you. I think if you're going to tell me it was 2 weeks, then I'm like, you can't do that.
2 days is a long time to live in the woods out of a van. And I'm black, Bert. That is 2 years for me.
I didn't put that into the equation.
It's a long time, man.
And I guess I'm thinking, like, if I went with friends and I knew who they were, right? And then the camping out for 2 days and hanging out in the van, but you don't even really know her.
No, we've talked for an hour.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. That's all I got. But content-wise, I mean, it would be amazing for both of us. It's hard to walk away from. So she said that they have Mother's Day weekend available and the weekend after. And so I pretty much have a few days to make this decision.
Okay.
The Bert Show.